Have you ever created an account on Bumble or know someone who has? Then you might know her. She's the mastermind behind this company, which has a market capitalization of $5.16 billion. But did you know she was also the brains behind the dating app Tinder? What's even greater about her is that she literally helped the company be where it is now. But due to the growing tensions between her and the executives at the company, she quit and ultimately created this big billion-dollar empire. So how did she do it? This is the story of Whitney Wolfe Herd, the youngest billionaire who swiped left against Tinder and started her own billion-dollar dating empire. Whitney Wolfe Herd was born on July 1st, 1990, in Salt Lake City, Utah. She is the second child of her parents, Kelly and Michael Wolfe. Whitney's parents were ordinary people, and we get the idea just by looking at their professions. Her father works as a property developer, and her mother is a homemaker. She did her schooling at Judge Memorial Catholic High School, but when she was in the 4th grade, her family went on sabbatical in Paris, France. She later earned her degree in international studies from Southern Methodist University. She was even part of the Kappa Gamma sorority and was practically famous for her role there. However, she always felt like she could do more. Whitney had an entrepreneurial streak, and that led to her starting many businesses that were not only profitable, but also for a good cause. During college, at just the age of 20, she started a business that focused on reusable and sustainable products. These products were none other than bamboo tote bags. All of her proceeds were donated to those impacted by the BP oil spill, which, in case you were unaware, was one of the world's worst natural disasters to ever occur in the Gulf of Mexico. Knowing that, Whitney did not only settle on selling it, she wanted to promote it big. So she partnered with a celebrity stylist named Patrick Oftencamp. With his help, she was able to create and launch the nonprofit organization called Help Us Project. And there's no doubt that her idea was well received, because those bags that she sold received national press. Even celebrities such as Rachel Zoe and Nicole Richie were photographed wearing them, but that didn't stop her from creating something more. Soon after, she introduced a second business with Oftencamp called Tender Heart. This was a clothing line that was dedicated to raising awareness about human trafficking and fair trade. Even after she graduated, she traveled to Southeast Asia, where she worked in orphanages and tried to nurture orphan kids. However, fate had something else in store for her. Now, most of you have heard of the dating app Tinder, or maybe even used it. But Tinder's original prototype was called Matchbox. For some of you who don't know what Tinder does, it's basically an online dating and geosocial networking application. Users of the dating app Tinder connect with one another by simply swiping right or left in accordance with their preferences. This app was developed by Sean Rad and Joe Munoz. Whitney Wolfe joined when Cardify, Matchbox's predecessor, was abandoned and discontinued. She, along with Sean Rad, joined hands and developed Tinder, launching it into the world for everyone to use in 2012. What's even more interesting is the name Tinder was originally Whitney's idea. It came about when she saw a flame of fire and took the nature of being an easily combustible material that starts a fire as a subjective summary of what the app really does. She even designed the logo, and that's marketing genius when you think about the explanation. She was just 22 when she was promoted to co-founder and vice president of marketing at the company. And as the VP of marketing, she came up with the idea of fueling the app's popularity on college campuses, incubating and growing its user base. This was also when she was dating Tinder's chief marketing officer, Justin Mateen. However, this story doesn't end well for both Tinder and Whitney. By June 2014, almost 2 years after bringing the whole company from nothing to 1 million users, Whitney had sued the company for sexual harassment and discrimination, alleging that Mateen, her ex-boyfriend, called her names, including whore and gold digger, and sent derogatory and threatening text messages. While Mateen was suspended and then resigned from the company, Tinder CEO Sean Rad denied any wrongdoing and partly blamed Wolfe Herd for the incident. Whitney was also forced to resign from her position because of the sexual harassment case. It was as if the company didn't want any bad publicity while it was literally soaring to great heights. So, what did Whitney do? She quit. Have you ever felt demotivated when you've literally given your time, effort, and sweat to make something grow beyond your horizon? That's exactly how Whitney felt, and this was, without a doubt, the lowest point in her life. It was this incident that led her to think about all the times she had been emotionally abused. In an interview with Time magazine in March 2021, Whitney shared personal information that revealed that during high school, she experienced severe emotional abuse from her high school boyfriend during their growing years. And that incident stripped her down to nothing. Also, when she was blamed for the sexual harassment incident, she saw the dark side of relationships. Remember when we talked about her suing Tinder? Well, she received $1 million in settlement money without admission of wrongdoing. While she was unable to talk about this incident, she opened up about her experience in 2015 during an interview with Business Insider. She said that, at 25, that incident taught her so many things. It taught her about gender dynamics and how the world actually lacked a female-only social network that empowered women. Through all of these experiences that she collected, she created Bumble. However, after the lawsuit was settled, Sean Rad stepped down as the CEO of Tinder, and though we don't know the actual reason why, we could speculate that it was because of this incident. Whitney received a lot of online hate, death threats, and was taunted in public because she was viewed as a person who just wanted to get the golden tag from a company as big as Tinder. So 2 months after quitting, she gathered up everything she had and started Bumble. Whitney faced everything from humiliation to death threats to online haters and more. But instead of fleeing, she launched herself into another company that put her back in Tinder's sweet spot. However, she didn't just want to compete with Tinder, she also wanted to completely transform the dating industry. Whitney claimed that she observed something about how men and women interact with one another that was missing from the social environment. And as you may have noticed, Whitney wanted to do something completely different from what Tinder was focused on, the swipe right and left approach. She was annoyed that despite being confident women, her strong female friends were afraid to initiate conversation, whether in person or online. In this way, the female-first model empowered women to initiate action. This was how she started her company, Bumble. Now, if you've ever used Bumble or even heard of it, you know that it's an online dating service where men are strictly prohibited from striking up a conversation with their matches, and women are required to do so. This rule was laid out by Whitney, and she saw it as an empowering factor that was really missing from a woman's life. If you thought this idea did not bring her a lot of boos, then you are wrong. When people commented on Bumble and said she was just copying what Tinder was doing, they failed to notice that she was actually trying to close the gap in the online dating app. Indeed, the majority of people even perceived it as retaliation for what she had gone through. Whitney emphasized that this female-first model could actually give women the opportunity to reclaim the power they currently didn't have over their romantic lives. After Wolfe Herd left Tinder, Badoo's founder, Andre Andreev, contacted her to discuss working together to develop a dating platform. The two agreed, And the rest is history. Bumble has its headquarters in Austin, Texas, and today it has over 650 employees globally. After being released for a year, the app had over 15 million conversations and 80 million matches by December 2015. And by November 17, it had over 22 million registered users. Whitney, along with Badoo's founder, took the company global by raising its valuation to $2.2 billion through its IPO offering in February 2021, making the company's valuation over $7 billion. Whitney Wolfe Herd became a billionaire at the age of 31, thanks to this. She was also listed among the 30 most important women under 30 in technology by Business Insider in 2014. She was recognized as one of ELLE's Women in Tech in 2016. In 2017 and 2018, Forbes included her on their list of 30 under 30. She was listed in a December 2017 TechCrunch feature on 42 women who were successful in tech in 2017. But these titles did not stop her from making Bumble one of the most successful social apps today. In March 2016, she initiated a BFF mode to help users find platonic companions. This mode allows the user to replace potential dates with other users who shared their sex and were looking for friends. Whitney also made sure to promote her business across all platforms. In this instance, she contacted Spotify. As a result, Bumble announced users would be able to link a Spotify account to their profile in order to display their musical preferences on June 16, 2016. Isn't this pure marketing genius? Considering that most people associate emotions with music, this was just a gateway for the dating platform to help its users have better matches. Later, in March 2017, the company announced its plans to launch Bumble Biz, a career networking app and business platform that prioritizes women. In an effort to block users who use hate speech in their profiles, Bumble and the Anti-Defamation League teamed up in August 2017. These upgrades allowed the business to gain a market value of over $1 billion, and its sister apps were valued at $3 billion. In 2018, Bumble and its sister applications generated net sales of $162 million. Bumble's own lifestyle publication, Bumble Mag, debuted in April 2019. As the parent company of both Bumble and Badoo, Magic Lab was renamed Bumble in 2020. This also marked the company's user base, which crossed over 100 million people. Bumble was a company that was listed on the NASDAQ exchange. The value of its shares initially stood at $43, but they increased to $76 on the first day of trading, valuing the business at more than $13 billion. In February 2022, Bumble announced that it had acquired Fruits, a French-owned freemium dating app popular with Gen Z and used across Europe. This was the company's first acquisition. Beginning in April 2022, Bumble users who report abuse will be qualified to enroll in a number of free courses offered by Bloom, an online resource for support for assault survivors. Just think about it. Isn't this story of Whitney Wolfe Herd an inspiring one? This is more than just a story about women's empowerment. It's a story about never giving up on what you're capable of. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked this video, then hit the like button and subscribe and press the bell icon for more great videos just like this. Thanks for watching.